Hi everyone, just checking that I'm crumb free. How are you guys doing? Just came in from shopping, so I just had a little snack, and I'm just chilling on the computer because I've done everything for today. I just got to do the lunar reading for the full moon in Uttara Ashara, so I'm just preparing for that. But other than that, it's actually quite a slow day. Update on me. I think I might have been reported for laughing too loud. So this is nothing new, all right? When you're in a position where, you're not starting any trouble and you're not insulting anyone and you're not causing any problems, it gets to a point where folks start to run out of ideas. So of course, me laughing too loudly is probably going to be a problem. Because I heard someone saying, would people are scared. I haven't said anything. I've literally been online. I haven't said anything's done anyone to me because they haven't done anything to me. Maybe when they talk to each other, they insult me every chance they fucking get because they're objectively terrible people. But when it comes to me, they haven't bothered me. So if they're not bothering me and I'm not saying anything, then what we have is a peaceful neighborhood, right? So I'm trying to understand where the issue is. I mean, is it the video where I talked about abortion rights and the wider implications of it? And then I showed videos where, once again, I was right, like I said? Is that the issue? Is it the issue where the gang stalkers are really starting to understand the damage that they're causing and that they have caused already? Is that the issue? Because I don't see what the issue is with the quiet neighborhood with no arguments. And I'm the type of person, trouble seems to find me. Well, that's due to me being a TI, but trouble finds me everywhere. And when trouble finds me, I answer the call usually. I'm not exactly the most peaceful person on the planet. But even I'm like, look, if you're not doing anything to me, you're not taunting me, you're not trying to make my life a misery, I don't care what you say and I don't care what you do. Just leave me alone. You just don't get to hurt me. You just don't get to stress me out looking for attention. But because of that, because things are getting better, now the reports are coming in. I'm like, what is going on here? What is going on here? Like, why do this now when you have nothing to report? But again, when it comes to gang stalking, it's about control, isn't it? It's about, they don't want to just control where you live, what you eat, what you do. They want to control how you feel all the time. So if I'm not feeling a certain way about my life, if I'm not feeling miserable, if I'm focused, if I'm driven, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I'm taking responsibility for my actions, basically, that means the gang stalkers are no longer in control. And they can't have that. So guess what? They got to start ruckus again. They got to say, oh, she's laughing too loud. Oh, it feels like I'm taunting. Nobody's taunting you. And you're not taunting me. So why are we having this? What is going on? You're complaining because the neighborhood's peaceful. We're not going after each other. What is the problem? We're not going after each other. It occurs to me that, I don't know, if the gang stalkers feel like I'm getting too much control over the situation, then they might move me again. But it doesn't bother me. The moving really doesn't bother me. Over the past 2 years, through me making this really huge decision to come to somewhere, a whole new place, completely by myself, from me making this decision to do that, I have discovered parts of myself that I didn't know that were there and that I really, really like, honestly. I'm sorry, that's really loud. I discovered parts of myself that I didn't know were there, and honestly, I really like. I like myself a lot more than I did 2 years ago. I'm sorry about the stress that I went through, but other than that, I like myself a lot more than I used to. Because I know what I can deal with. I know what I can survive through. And that gives me a level of self-respect I've never had before. So it's not the moving that bothers me. Traveling has always been good for me. Traveling has always been good for me. Getting to see new places has always been good for me. There's nothing wrong with like me packing up and moving somewhere else. That's not the issue that I have. The issue that I have is the limited amount of control I have over that traveling. It's entirely at the mercy of whatever council is looking after me at the time. That's the problem that I have. It's a lack of control, because they're the ones who are ultimately going to decide where I go. And most likely they're just going to drag me to another experimentation facility masquerading as a living accommodation. That leaves me not knowing where. It's not the where from, it's the where to. That's what's really bothering me. It's, but change happens all the time. Change is a part of life. You got to fucking change. You know what I mean? So it doesn't bother me if it ends up that because these people are being petty, I might have to leave. I mean, fine. That doesn't bother me that much. It's just not knowing the where to that bothers me. It's not the where from. But even then, it doesn't really matter anyway, because wherever I move to or wherever I am, I said, I think about a year or so ago, I said, listen, man, if I'm going to be on the streets, I'm going to run the streets. Wherever I am, if I'm going to be moved from one experimental facility to another, best believe I'm not going to let that shit run me. I said that before and I'll say it again. I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. Whatever experimental facility or open air holocaust they move me to, masquerading as a fucking living accommodation, I'ma run that shit. It's not gonna run me. And I've proven that over and over again. Over and over again. So that doesn't bother me. It really doesn't bother me. I just think it's just kind of annoying. Like, I clearly have stuff to do. I've got the tarot readings. I've got other business interests. I've got the anti-war rally stuff. I've got all kinds of different stuff going on. The TI stuff. The electromagnetic frequency sensitivity stuff. I've got so much going on over here. And it's really annoying when like just out of a need to just, I don't even know what they're trying to do. What do they think they're going to achieve by getting me out? Ask the previous neighbours, it does not help the situation. Every time I leave somewhere, either the neighbourhood goes to shit or it gets gentrified the hell out of. Like, ask any neighbourhood that I've been in. Me leaving did not make shit any better. It just made the shit more ratchet. It didn't make it any better at all. Didn't make it any better at all. Every neighborhood that I've left had been plagued with fucking scandal. Plagued with scandal. Ask. Plagued with scandal. Terrified of me coming back because they know what they've done. So it doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. It's just annoying because I've got so much to do. And it's like, it would be one thing if I was like causing ruckus and screaming and yelling and just throwing a fucking tantrum because people won't leave me alone. It would be different if I was doing that, but I'm not doing that. And I hear these people continuously insult me. Continuously, when I'm not even talking about them. Continuously insult me. And complain about me even when I'm doing nothing. They are objectively terrible people, man to child. without a shadow of a doubt. Terrible ass people, classless. But I hardly say anything. I hardly say anything to or about them these days. Because if they haven't said or done anything to me, what is the point? But now you want to complain because things are too good? Good grief. Good grief. And then there's the buck passing. One of them's obsessed with me, but then they're having a go at the other one at throwing racial slurs. You're all fucking terrible. I don't know what the buck passing is about. Because it's like the better I'm getting, the worse you're getting. And the more you're trying to find ammunition on me in order to get me out, you're trying to do this to the same person who has been trying to leave since before you got here. And you want to... This. I can't with this. I cannot. I cannot. I was literally trying to leave since before you got here. And you want to be out here like, yo. Silly. Just silly. Silly behavior. But anyway, today was actually really, really good. I didn't do that much today, but it was nice because I got to go out and listen, man, I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but let me tell you something. The bus ride here, the bus ride coming here and going out is never a dull moment. Seriously, you've got like to the west of you, you've got the coast, so you can see the entire sea from where you are on a bus. You can see the entire sea to the west, and then to the east, you've got horses there. You've got horses there. You've got horses to the west, right? Now I'm almost 40, right? But every single time I see farm animals, I'm like, what is that? I swear to God, there was one occasion where I walked out of that, where I walked just 2 minutes down the road from me on that farm that everybody takes hikes on. There were cows on that field. And I'm over here, I'm like, yo, that's just an ordinary thing. It's an ordinary thing. It's not that big a deal. But they are cows. You got cows here. You got sheep. You got horses. Like, that blows my mind. You don't understand. And I've seen animals before, because where I used to live was just outside London. During the time when I was a teenager, from the age of 15 to about 20 years old, I lived in just on the outskirts of London. Lots of field, lots of greenery. And when my mum was able to drive, she used to take us to this horse farm. And we used to feed the horses, and, you know, we used to give them carrots and what have you and stuff like that. And I've been around animals before, so it's not like, you know, an unusual thing to see an animal. But for me, it's just like, I literally live next door. I live next to animals. I live near animals. Cows and sheep and horses. Like, it still blows my mind even now. And I'm a grown woman. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's beautiful. You don't understand. It's beautiful here. It's like, oh, jeez. It is gorgeous here. And there's like camping grounds like 15 minutes away from here. I was in love. I came down to see one of my mates, because one of my mates was camping at the time down at the camping grounds down there. I'm telling you something right now. I was in love. I'm like, these are the type of places that end up in novels and shit. Because there's so much imagination that can come from so much nature and so much beauty. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just glorious. And I never get sick of it. I never get sick of it. It's amazing. I never get sick of that. I love it. I love it. I love looking to my east, looking to the east and seeing animals, and then looking to the west and seeing a golf course and a racing course and the sea. Oh my gosh. And it's so huge. It's so huge. Wow. Beautiful place. If I wasn't being gang stalked, there is no way that I wouldn't have ended up here at some point. And there's something about my time in Brighton. I don't know if it's coming to a close. I don't think it is. But there is something that I've noticed about my time in Brighton. As I'm coming up to the 2-year mark, there's something I've noticed about my time here. Apart from students and foreigners like who come here to study or to like as a stopgap on their way to their actual lives, a lot of people come here, I realize, to either save their lives or end their lives. So it could be like that, you know, there's some Brightonians here who've been here all their lives, or, you know, some people who are addicts who found themselves here, or some people who are down on hard times who found themselves here. They came to save their lives, right? And then you've got like elderly people and, you know, people who want to slow down, you know, slow their lives down and move to a place where, you know, there's not too much demanded of them. So they came here to end their lives or finish their lives. Not in a like really morbid way, but just like to end things, right? I came here to start mine. And I realized that throughout all the clashes that I've had over here with people, it's gang stalking, yes. Gang stalking is a huge part of it. But my motives were coming here were much different than a lot of people's motives for coming here. I didn't come here to end my life or to save my life. I came here to start it. And I needed to start it in a place where nobody really knew me. I wasn't surrounded by community all the time, because community has its drawbacks. For somebody like me, it can inhibit you from finding out who you really are as a person. You know, it can inhibit you from growing as a human being. I'm still not a grown-up, you know. Maybe my body is like a hard back, like almost 40-year-old person, but inside, like, I'm a 21-year-old. I haven't grown up yet. I'm still growing. But it's like I couldn't really grow up whilst I was surrounded by that same community, that same setting that made me feel so small to begin with. I couldn't grow. Now that I'm on my own, and I'm completely on my own with almost no support in comparison to what I had back in London, it forced me to be more ingenious with what I do. It's forced me to be more shrewd, more canny. It's forced me to find solutions that didn't revolve around being so reliant on other people. I had to, you know, it's not that I didn't ask for help. I did. And I got it. But it forced me to be more ingenious. It forced me to think harder about where am I going to get this from, and this from? How am I going to save my money? How am I going to pay my bills? And far from stressing me out, it made me more confident. It made me feel like, you know what? If I can do this, what else can I do? Empress Justice Tarot, you know, which used to be Real Justice Tarot, I was doing tarot readings long before then, but it's only now that I've started to take it seriously enough to like provide free readings for people online. It's only now that I'm starting to take it seriously, like in the last 2 years. And, you know, but there are other business interests that I'm interested in. And now I've got the anti-war stuff on top of that, which I could easily connect to the targeting. Because the thing is, if war if there is less war and there are less weapons being developed, then by proxy, there would be less people being experimented on. So, like, through the anti-war thing, I have a real chance to help people in more ways than just a myopic sort of like TI driven experience that I'm having over here. So like with me completely being on my own, it's helped me see that. It's helped me understand that. And I dissociate, but I can't remember the last time I spoke out loud or thought out loud or dissociated. I can't think of the last time I've actually done that. It's been 2 years. And the only time when I did that was when I had that massive toothache in the hostel and I was fucking high on cocodamol. That's the only time. Other than that, nothing. It's just been singing and writing and readings and going out and talking to people and meeting people. It's just been nothing but that. So yeah, I've gotten to know myself a whole lot more since then. I would love to stay here. I really would. But if it turns out that I can't, or if it turns out that I have to move back to London or move to Birmingham, don't ask, then when I do leave here, I'm going to leave here a very different person to the person who left London. And whatever gang stalkers are waiting for me, please trust and believe they are not ready for that person. They're not ready for me. That's why I'm not worried. They're not ready for me. Just playing an online game right now. Hang on. I don't know what people are getting out of this. I've reached up quite a few levels already, but I don't know what people get out of this. I really don't, but I'm still playing anyway. I'm intrigued. I'm still intrigued, so I'm still playing it. Anyway, I've got to go, you guys. Peace and blessings. Take care, my fellow TIs. I love you. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed my little rant vlog. You know, it's more philosophical than anything, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. I love you guys. Peace and blessings. Take care. Bye-bye.